Imagine Italy in the late 16th century, a place where a new form of art was taking shape: opera. Born in the grandeur of courts and aristocratic circles, this art form was a fusion of music, drama, and spectacle. It was here that the seeds of opera were first sown before its roots would spread, capturing the hearts of the general public. This was the dawn of opera. From its humble beginnings in Italy, opera was set to conquer the world of music. As the centuries rolled on, opera evolved, shaped by the genius of composers from the Baroque to the Romantic period. In the Baroque era, the 17th and early 18th centuries, opera found its feet as a distinct art form. Composers like Claudio Monteverdi and George Frideric Handel took center stage. They crafted operas that delved into the depths of love, mythology, and historical happenings. Their works resonated with the audiences, and the echoes are still heard today. Then came the classical era, spanning the late 18th to the early 19th centuries. This period brought a touch of finesse to opera. Maestros like Wolfgang, Amadeus, Mozart, and Christoph Willibald Gluck introduced new forms and styles that captivated the hearts of their listeners. Mozart's operas specifically are admired for their melodic beauty and psychological depth. As we moved into the 19th century, the Romantic period signaled a golden age for opera. Composers like Giuseppe Verdi and Richard Wagner dared to push the boundaries of the art form. Verdi's operas, like La Traviata and Aida, are celebrated for their stirring melodies and dramatic intensity. Wagner, on the other hand, revolutionized opera with his works like the Ring Cycle, which are known for their epic scale and innovative use of leitmotifs. As the curtain closed on the 19th century and rose on the 20th, we saw the rise of Verismo opera. This style focused on realistic portrayals of everyday life, making opera more relatable to its audience. Composers like Giacomo Puccini and Ruggero Leoncavallo championed this style, creating operas that depicted the struggles and passions of ordinary people. Throughout the 20th century, opera continued to evolve with the advent of modernism and avant-garde techniques. Composers like Igor Stravinsky, Benjamin Britten, and Alban Berg experimented with new forms and concepts, further pushing the boundaries of traditional opera. Each era left its indelible mark on opera, pushing the boundaries of this art form. As we moved into the late 19th and 20th centuries, opera continued its evolution, with Verismo opera and modernist techniques coming to the fore. The era of Verismo, or realism, saw a shift in focus to the struggles and passions of everyday people. Composers like Giacomo Puccini and Ruggero Leoncavallo became synonymous with this style, their operas echoing with the heartbeats of ordinary lives. But opera didn't stop there. As the 20th century dawned, it began to flirt with the bold strokes of modernism and avant-garde techniques. Composers like Igor Stravinsky, Benjamin Britten, and Alban Berg pushed the envelope, experimenting with new forms and concepts, and blowing the dust off traditional opera. Now, in the 21st century, opera remains as vibrant and diverse as ever. It embraces a multitude of styles and influences, reflecting the cultural, social, and political issues of our time. Contemporary composers continue to innovate, creating works that resonate with our modern world, while opera companies worldwide ensure the art form's relevance and accessibility by staging both classic repertoire and fresh productions. Opera, like a chameleon, has an innate ability to adapt and change. It absorbs the colors of each era, each movement, each revolution, and incorporates them into its fabric. Opera is not defined by time but rather shapes itself around it, constantly evolving, constantly changing. Opera has continued to adapt and evolve, reflecting the times and cultures in which it is created. As we look to the future, opera faces both challenges and opportunities. Technology is playing a transformative role, making the grandeur of opera just a click away. High-definition broadcasts, digital recordings, and online streaming platforms are tearing down geographical barriers, giving a global audience front-row seats to this spectacular art form. Yet, the opera isn't just about preserving the past, it's about reflecting the world we live in. Efforts to diversify opera are gaining momentum, with the inclusion of a broader range of voices, experiences, and cultural perspectives. Companies are commissioning works by female, LGBTQ+, and BIPOC composers, ensuring the opera stage is as vibrant and varied as the world outside. Moreover, opera companies are reaching out to communities, schools, and non-traditional venues, fostering a new generation of opera enthusiasts. It's these education and outreach programs that are keeping the magic of opera alive and thriving. As opera steps into the future, it continues to reinvent itself, ensuring its relevance and resonance for generations to come.